the famous CBT, isn't it?
Oh, the CBT. Yes, exactly.
What did you do there? So how did you approach the CBT?
So how I approached it. So obviously, I mean, I suggest that you go to as many trainings as you can. I mean, even if you think that you're the master of CBTs, I mean, uh, still there's always something that you can learn from the coach, in this case from Carmen, right? But also from others. I mean, from other candidates that you might come across at the trainings.
Or
Yeah,
this peer group so that you practice together and hopefully you could motivate one another, right?
yes, exactly. So that's really my advice, and to practice as much as you can, to focus on this, because you might come across different levels of difficulties depending on the competition you're running for. So you might have the more difficult ones or the less difficult ones, but still you need to be ready and prepared, because you don't want to fail the competition due to failing the CBT, right? So that's very important.
Let's imagine that you have done the CBT and now assessment center.
Well, now my first advice. So if we are talking about specialist competitions, where obviously you will have the field interview for sure, and you will have either a written test that could likely be on the substance, or even if you have the case study. I mean, in any case, what I would advise.
An oral presentation in the domain of competence.
Yes, exactly. So first of all, go at the revision of the substance.
Absolutely. So revise properly.
Yes, revise properly. Try to think. Okay, so this competition will be about, I don't know, EU law, competition law, or whatever, right? So try to think about the subject and try to dissect it in different areas, sub areas, and go at the revision. I would say again, do as many trainings as you can on this, because you might be an expert in your field, but still not really knowing how to go at it with respect to how EPSO will test you on this, right? So one thing is knowing the substance and being an expert, and one other thing is being able to convey it in the right way to be scored appropriately.
So there are so
Yes,
many things that you have to cover, even though in your daily life you are here and you are digging deep down in that domain where, let's say, your expertise is, right? So the
exactly.
revision is giving you this overall, I would say, perspective and even a little bit of knowledge. I mean, we don't exaggerate, it's quite superficial, but nevertheless, so that you could assume the discussion with the jury, you could assume the field interview, you could assume a written test. That is.
Indeed.
So, first
Indeed.
impression. Great.
Yes, and the last point that I would like to add over this is obviously, if you can do this together with few other people. I don't recommend you to go, in a big group study, but just with one or two, other fellow would be, successful candidates. Because this would help you a lot, to stay motivated and to also share the work.
Exactly. Share the load
Yes, exactly.
because it's a load. Uh,
Yes.
so we go from here into the written test. So what can we say for the written test?
So what I would say for the written test is, again, regardless of whether it is going to be the written test on substance or the case study type of exercise, then, as I said, it's very important that you've done the revision phase properly, and that then you start understanding by by going to trainings. Again, it's very important. I really recommend that in order to learn, again, how to put things down in a manner that then would allow you to be scored appropriately. Because again, you might be very good at drafting legal memos or applications to the EU courts or whatever, but still this type of exercise is very much structured and you have to follow very specific rules. And this is why I really recommend you don't overestimate yourself. Just learn, go at trainings, and then you can put that into practice.
So exactly, and because beyond, let's say, the structure of the written exercise, like a case study or written test or essay, there is the protocol of how you approach it, right? You have 90 minutes, let's say. Gosh, 90 minutes is very short when you have 20 documents to go through and to organize and to think about, to say, put them all in your memory in order to come up with a briefing for your boss at the end of the exercise, right? So.
Yes, and obviously don't forget, right? On the day of the exam, you're going to be stressed out. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe your kids were crying all night, and or your parents, were fighting or whatever it is, right? So, right? Don't. You have to put that into. To take that into account, and
Life happens.
So, life happens. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
To your job, your exam next day. Absolutely. So that is for the written, right? So protocol plus structure of this, and obviously a lot of practice before that.